Okay guys, I'm sorry for the sloppy editing and maybe the shitty audio. I'm recording this in my car with my phone and I don't really have a script, which is a first for me. So sorry for all of that, but I wanted to really hurry up and try to be the first one to talk about this because there are some huge Classic Plus leaks and I saw them exactly as they were posted. The timestamp was like 0 seconds ago and I screenshotted them. I got most of them on my phone right now, but the post was already deleted. So I got really lucky. It was up for like 2 minutes. And I assume actually that I'm probably the first person that makes classic WoW videos that actually saw this post. So what is actually happening? Well, there is this guy called 96 Dog Red Snarp, I guess is his name, and he doesn't post stuff often. But when he posts leaks about World of Warcraft, about retail and about classic. And as I said, he doesn't post often, but when he posts, he is spot on. He predicted Season of Discovery and Season of Mastery, and he predicted a lot of changes that were added there, and they were all spot on. New classes in Season of Discovery, he predicted tank mages, tank rogues and healer mages. He predicted the rune system. He predicted what else? Wait, I have some notes. He predicted that GDKP will be banned. He predicted leveling raids. He predicted Season of Discovery itself before it was even announced. So yeah, he's very trustworthy. In retail, for example, he also predicted delves before they were announced. So the guy somehow gets a lot of information. And he was silent for a long time. The last time he talked about Classic was before Season of Discovery was even announced. But he talked again, and he has some news about Classic Plus. And it's... I'll just let you guys hear them and we can talk about them as we go. So, the first two things he mentions are pretty mild. First one is that they will add pet battles to Classic Plus. I said it before, I really don't mind this at all. Why would I care if someone is out there in the open world playing Pokemon? I don't care. I think it's good. Even if I don't like pet battles, and I don't, people going outside of the major cities and being part of the open world is great. No issue there. Then we have new races. It's the Blood Elves and the Draenei again. I mean, can I say it's a bad pairing of races? No, it's good. I like Draenei, I like the Blood Elves, I enjoy them. But, goddamn, it's such a predictable, boring and lazy addition. This has been said a million times already, but can we get something like ogres for the Horde? Again, not a huge problem, but this is reflective of how much effort they want to put in the game, and this is a really bad sign. I also wonder how will the Draenei be added, like, do they still crash land in the Azure Mist Isle? Okay, now we get into the more serious and honestly more stupid stuff. They mentioned that they first experimented with different skins for enemies in the War Within and the Midnight expansions. In the War Within, they added the possibility to turn the Nerubians into crabs, if you remember, for people that are afraid of spiders. And in Midnight, there is this delve where you can use an item that makes enemies look less intimidating and makes you deal 20% extra damage to them. It turns them into cute bunnies. So they want to add something like that to Classic Plus, and you can toggle it for beasts, undeads, demons, and spider-looking mobs, and some dungeon bosses. And if you activate this, that will turn them into something like bunnies. So it's more appealing and less disturbing. Look man, is this an issue in itself? No. I will of course never toggle this on, it's stupid, but it's still very bad news. Because the question has to be asked, why do they care about this crap? What kind of person would not be okay with spiders or with zombies in their video game? And most importantly, why the hell do you waste time and resources catering to these people at all? It's mind staggering, and again, while this change itself is not bad since it's optional, it's a really bad sign of the design philosophy and the direction they want to take the game in. I am worried, and I say worried, but we already got worse shit coming anyway, so I don't even think I am worried at this point actually. It's just clear that Classic Plus will be a huge failure. It's just gonna... let's move on. Anyway, he's not sure about this one, but he says there is a huge chance that the Season of Discovery rune system is gonna come back and is how we're gonna get new abilities in Classic Plus again. And I hate this too. Why the hell? Why do it like this? It ends up being nothing but a chore. Because you need new abilities, so everyone just Googles how to get the new stuff and follows instructions and gets them like that. It's boring and it feels like a chore. I don't know, personally, when Season of Discovery released, I didn't like them. So I didn't like Season of Discovery at all. So I was a bit out of the loop, but I remember people not really liking this system that much either. So I really don't know why are they bringing this back. I think it's gonna be even worse the second time around, since the new stuff factor that it had the first time when it came to Season of Discovery is not gonna be a thing anymore. But even worse, they will add one new spec to every class, and for the classes that cannot heal or tank, one of those specs will be prioritized, so that grouping is much easier but in an organic and natural way, they say. So basically we are gonna get healing mages, tanking rogues and shamans and warlocks again, plus one new spec for each other class too. I am trying to look at this with an open mind, but I think this is so bad, so bad, and I don't get it, man. They have the Classic Plus project website made by Jordi. They have all the information they need. Why the fuck would you add so much? Why don't you make use of that information? You are so lucky to have it and you're not taking a look. Look at the results. People want small changes, mostly targeted to meme specs. So why the fuck are you adding one new spec per class and also add weird specs again? Like tanking warlocks and rogues and shamans. Like, okay, tanking shamans is actually quite cool, I think, but the other ones, come on, for fuck's sake. Then we have a slight rework for weapon skills mentioned. They will just level up as you do. The only good change in here, because I like weapon skill as a stat that matters at endgame, but it sucks big time to have to level it when you get a new item. So the only good thing in the entire list is a major, it's a minor change. But then we go right back to Stupid Town again. There will be cross-faction stuff added. So the group building tool we have right now on the Anniversary Realms will still exist and work the same way it does right now, so it's not cross-faction, but there will be cross-faction guilds. And if you are part of a cross-faction guild, you can group with, of course, anyone in your guild, so any faction, no restrictions. Not to talk about the technical issues that come from that, like abusing the auction house, big time. But also, do you remember the absolutely iconic part of the game that made it feel super special, that started in vanilla and was a thing all the way to Mists of Pandaria? And that is the Horde and the Alliance conflict, the Horde and the Alliance divide. Well, ever since like Legion or Warlords of Draenor, they started chipping at it more and more, and in retail WoW right now, the Horde and the Alliance don't even have a reason to exist anymore, basically. That cool dynamic that made World of Warcraft special is dead. Well, in retail, it took many years across many expansions to kill that. In Classic Plus, it's gonna be dead from day one. Yay! Amazing job! Incredible! Oh, superb! Wow, Blizzard. Incredible. Okay. I would add cross-faction to Classic only when the game is really close to dying, so that the remaining people can try and get groups going. But I guess they are proactive, because the game seems to be very bad and it will be dead on arrival, so they are just preparing for that, and great job, Blizzard. You're very smart. Then we have Transmog. Yes, they are gonna add Transmog, and it's funny because they add some changes to make it feel more like Classic. But you can see how stupid the changes actually are. Listen to this. So Transmog is added, but there are some toggles. You can toggle to not see anyone's Transmog, so only see yours and everyone else has the original gear, or to see everyone else's Transmog, or to see the Transmog of only people that are in your raid party or in your group. Who asked for this? Transmog is bad for Classic because visual progression in an MMO is still progression, but even so, it's not over. They say that they are aware that Transmog is something that a lot of people do in retail during endgame, and that they are aware that vanilla lacked in that department, that the endgame can feel a bit lackluster, which yes, it's true. So how do they fucking fix it? Well, once you hit level 60, you can enter any previously cleared instance, raid or dungeon on a transmogrification difficulty that is below the normal one. And on this difficulty, everything dies in one shot and they only drop transmog, so no gold and no loot. So if you kill a mob, it can drop the transmog of an item that it would normally drop. So how I understand it is that if you previously cleared the Scarlet Monastery dungeons, for example, and you are level 60, you can turn on the transmogrification difficulty, and you can enter the Scarlet Monastery dungeons and clear them and one-shot everything and just get transmog from it, nothing else. And the same thing goes for raids. Again, incredible job. In Classic, raids and dungeons were special because it meant something to see Ragnaros. Maybe the fights themselves were easy, but every time you got to see him, it was a big social event and it took real time and preparation to get there. Now it's all gonna be gamified just like in retail, and you're gonna one-shot everything. We are demigods again. We're gonna kill Ragnaros in one shot, and Kel'Thuzad as well, getting a lot of transmog. Making you have to clear the instance once is of course just gonna make it so the first time is special, and then it's a shit show all over the place. It's not enough to resolve the issue. Also, of course, that seeing someone hold a cool weapon or have a cool tier set completed will not mean shit anymore, because they maybe cleared Molten Core once and after that they just did a bunch of transmog runs, and that's how they got their transmog and they actually have shitty gear. But the last two things they mentioned are even worse. Let's start with the lore, shall we? The story of the last 4 expansions was totally dogshit. So why be concerned about the lore of Classic Plus, am I right? Especially seeing this beautiful news. They say that they know that the vanilla story is very fragmented and all over the place, so they want to try and give it somewhat of a direction and make sure that it evolves while keeping it still familiar and classic friendly, and while making it more approachable for a broader audience. Yes, you heard it, it's dead. The story is shit. More approachable for a broader audience, it's over. You knew this was coming. After the last interview where they said that they wished they didn't call it Warcraft, who is surprised at this point? But here's the funny part. They say they want to focus more on evolving the existing storylines rather than create new ones. So basically expect all that you loved about Warcraft lore to be ruined. Wheelchair Khadgar, family-friendly Arthas, Cocomelon-themed Illidan. It's all coming, boys. It's coming. Get ready, okay? And the last one. What do you think the last one is? 96 Dog Red Snarp says it's bad before presenting it. And I immediately thought, well, if the guy says it's bad, it's probably the level boost, right? But it's worse. Because why add the level boost to Classic Plus when you could add something that makes people pay multiple times for the level boost? It's the WoW token. It's described as a method of dealing with RMT and bots while also not altering the game's economy, since no gold is injected, but it's rather a player-to-player transaction. I assure you, dungeon boosting is gonna be a thing. So you can buy like 10 or 20 WoW tokens and use those to pay a mage to level you to 60. So you can buy a boost actually, it's just more expensive. And of course you can buy more than a boost, you can buy everything with gold, so Blizzard makes a lot of money. And if GDKPs are not banned, which I assume they're not, and the WoW token is in, which we assume that it's gonna be, and you still play this game when it releases, you are just stupid. But here's the best part, it's almost over now, but not yet. Apparently, they also want players to support the long-term development of Classic Plus by adding an extra optional subscription that gives you some goodies. God knows what that means entirely, but we already know it's gonna be shit. We know one thing though, you get a cosmetic reward, angel wings, and a halo above your head, so everyone knows what did they call it? So everyone knows that you are a saint supporter of the project. But the real highlight is an item called Soap of Selflessness that lets you wash your character, because they also want to add a new immersion layer to the game. It's a system where your character gets dirtier the more you play, eventually flies start following you, you get a green stink cloud around you, NPCs call you ugly and stinky, and if you do not visit an inn for too long, your character literally shits himself and gets brown stains on his pants on his back. But if you pay for the extra subscription, you get the premium soap of selflessness and you can use it on a cooldown, and apparently that will clean your character and will take all of those effects away. Man, 96 dog red snarp was never wrong in the past, so we are cooked.